Alright folks, so today I want to talk about nutrition, but not as a value judgment, good, bad, healthy, unhealthy type thing, but more as a tool for self-improvement and self-care with some simple heuristics. So the first thing that we need to get into, folks, is reading labels. Now, I don't know if you're tracking, but fairly recently there was an update to the labels in order to make them a little bit more user-friendly. So let's kind of break this down. So simply, you have your serving information. We're going to get into that shortly here. Your calories in bold, your nutrients, and then your daily value, which we've talked about this before, but a lot of the FDAs, RDAs are not necessarily based on the typical American nutrition requirements, and certainly not those of an athlete. So something to keep in mind. And that's not to say that the daily percentage is a completely worthless value and you should just toss it out. It's kind of like BMI, where it is useful in certain contexts, particularly large populations, but specific to individual nuance, something is lost. Now, we oftentimes in the fitness, diet, nutrition space talk about calories. Let's kind of skip the calories for now and actually talk about serving size, because serving size is what makes the conversation about calories actually more relevant and actionable. To do this, I want to compare two like items here, okay? We're going to compare regular Planters peanuts and honey roasted peanuts. Now, the regular peanuts are 170 calories and 1 ounce is about 39 pieces. These honey roasted peanuts are 160 calories for a pack, which is roughly 28 grams. If you look at the other macros, they're roughly comparable. 7 grams of protein, 13, 14 grams of fat. Typical peanut, right? No shenanigans. Even with the honey coating flavor. Now, the difference is, in terms of serving size, one is in 38 pieces. It's in a jar, so you're gonna grab it by the handful. One is in individual separated packets. You're gonna grab a packet, eat it, be done. So yes, while the calories are important, while the macros are important, what you should be thinking about in terms of action items for your day-to-day food selection, what serving sizes are amenable to, number one, your convenience, but number two, your psychology. Most of us, if it's a thing that we like peanuts for instance, I like peanuts. If it's 38 pieces, I'm not going to spend the time to carefully measure out 38 pieces. Spoilers, I've done that before back in the day, but like nowadays, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go buy the box that has individual packets so I can just get one and know exactly what I'm getting in that packet. A lot of the foods that really sandbag our diet and ultimately our health come in serving sizes that aren't really amenable to be metered casually. Like if you just grab them by the handful, your handful is probably already in excess of one serving size, and you're gonna get 2 or 3 and be like, oh, that wasn't that much, I'm probably good. Well, you're probably not actually, you know? I mean, if you look at something like most cereals are measured in a cup, or more insidiously, they'll be measured in some odd serving like 3/4 of a cup. So you just get a full cup, top that off, but 1 cup of cereal does not a bowl of cereal make. You know, you're gonna eat 3-4 scoops of whatever your cup size container. And it's not gonna be a level scoop, it's gonna be a heaping scoop. So you figure things of this nature, most of which either have a high carb and or fat content, neither of which is bad, but in unmeasured, unregulated amounts, your calorie consumption can go way in excess of what you need it to be very quickly. A couple of other heuristics to take into account when you're doing your grocery shopping and making your food choices. Look at protein to calorie ratio, okay? The gold standard is gonna be a scoop of whey protein or like a can of tuna. Those two examples should track also with a piece of chicken, turkey, a lean cut of pork or beef. You know, we're talking about somewhere between 120 to 200 calories for 20 to 40 grams of protein. Whether you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, eat for your health, or just maintain satiety, your meals should be based off of the protein source first and foremost. And so looking at the protein to calorie ratio of your primary protein source is going to go a long way to constructing more actionable meals regardless of your goals. You got like 4 to 6 ounces of chicken, 150, 200 calories, and like 30, 40 grams of protein. Your calories are low, your proteins are high. Now you have a little bit more wiggle room with your carbohydrates, most of which don't have quite so favorable a protein to calorie ratio. You look at your average bread, for instance, maybe 90 to 130 calories a serving with like 4 grams of protein. But you're okay with that if you already have a meaningful amount of protein from a low calorie source like tuna, tofu, whey, chicken, etc. Then next, consider fiber content. Now there is some fiber in things like cereals and breads and stuff. However, the majority of the fiber that you want to get is going to come from your fruits and vegetables. These will not only assist in digestion and satiety, but also have micronutrients like vitamins and minerals, and additionally can help with things like cholesterol, triglycerides, and other health concerns independently of the exercise that you should be doing as well. And that dovetails nicely into the last heuristic, which you've probably heard from various sources. Do the majority of your shopping around the outside of the grocery store. Most of the good stuff that you should be basing your meals off of is around the edges of the store, and there's some good items in the middle, but along the way to those good items, they're gonna tease you with a whole bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily need, but you want because you know it tastes good. So let's review. We wanna look at labels and not just pay attention to the calories and the daily value and the macros, but we wanna look at the serving sizes and see if that's amenable to our day-to-day. We want to examine the protein to calorie ratio or protein to energy ratio, as it were. Look for favorable sources for our primary protein source. And then for our carbohydrate source, we want to consider fiber as well as micronutrients like vitamins and minerals by shopping around the outside of the grocery store and not necessarily on the inside where all the tasty items are. Nobel Prize winning author, philosopher, and activist Albert Camus is known for saying, "Life is the sum of your choices." I can think of no place better where that applies than to our nutrition. It's not about good or bad or healthy or unhealthy, folks. It's about practical, sustainable options that support your health and performance goals. If you find my content entertaining, informative, and or useful, like, subscribe, share the page, and comment for the algorithm. Consistency is a superpower. Stay in the fight. Thanks for watching.